What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Canadian Heritage Minutes, which are these 1 minute long videos that teach about very important moments and people throughout Canadian history. And today, I am continuing my journey watching all of them. I've currently watched 15 out of 99 total episodes, and I'm very excited to see what we have here today, starting with the episode Maurice Rocket Richard. And this is a very small description compared to the normal one. After moving his family from one end of Montreal to the other, the hockey legend scores 5 goals towards a 9-1 victory against the Detroit Red Wings. This is from 1944. Hockey. This is about a hockey player. How much more Canadian heritage can you get than that? This is about a hockey legend. I've never heard of him. Maurice Rocket Richard. I wonder how he got that nickname. I actually want to take a look at maybe his Wikipedia, just because his description there is so short. Anything else on him? He was a Canadian professional ice hockey player, 18 seasons in the NHL for the Montreal Canadiens. There's a hockey team called the Canadians, but spelled with an E. Huh, who knew? Probably a lot of people, actually, that besides me knew that. He was the first player in the NHL to score 50 goals in one season, accomplishing the feat in 50 games. He was the first to reach 500 career goals. He's like the OG Wayne Gretzky or something. I don't know exactly how great he was, but this is some pretty incredible stats here. Retired in 1960 as the league's all-time leader in goals with 544. Most valuable player, one of the 100 greatest players in history. Yeah, he's good. He's really, really, really good. Maurice Rocket Richard. All right, very cool. And this particular Heritage Minute is about like a specific game against the Detroit Red Wings? Or is it about his life? I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Oh. Not what I expected. Not what I expected in a hockey-centric Heritage Minute. We're moving boxes. No hockey rink in sight. Okay. But there is some French. That's right. He is French. Did it say he grew up in Montreal? Anyway, let's keep going. Oh.
Yeah, but you told me that. Okay.
Oh, did he hurt himself there? So he's moving boxes, he's moving couches. When is he going to become one of the greatest hockey players of all time? It's very unassuming. And he kind of looked like he nicked his shoulder there or something. He's got to be careful. He's got 500 goals to score, doesn't he know?
Yeah, but you told me that. Okay.
Okay. So he's, oh my God!
The day off.
that's the secret behind his slap shot. There it is. He can just lug an entire couch single-handedly upstairs. He's a strong lad. That's the secret of the power of the Rocket.
I wanted the day off. I knew they wouldn't leave me alone. But I couldn't let the guys down.
Okay, here it is. Oh my God. And they're not wearing helmets. This is awesome. I love how this is filmed. Again, as I've mentioned in a lot of the Heritage Minutes I've seen, some of them are older and some of them are like newer, and the videography, the style that they're shot changes depending on when they were made. And I love this one. This is like awesome. Oh. Oh my God, look at him. Look at his, oh my God. look at this stare down. Oh my God, look at this stare down. I would immediately exit the rink. He's about to take his head off. Okay.
That night in 1944, Montreal beat Detroit 9-1. Maurice Rocket Richard scored 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. A legend was born.
Legend was born. So, this was an interesting Heritage Minute because in a lot of the other ones, it's very straightforward what the lesson or moment they're teaching is. Is this like Maurice Rocket Richards' first breakout game where he had to like leave work and just barely get to the game and then he just slaughtered everyone even with a hurt arm with his immense couch carrying brute strength? Either way, I enjoyed that one. That was that was nice. That's Maurice Rocket Richard. Very cool. Canadian hockey legend I had no idea about. All right, very good. Let's keep going here. Acadian Deportation. Acadian. I've heard the word Acadian referencing this group of people. I'm not exactly sure who they are or even where they're located. Is it a Canadian thing? Because I've heard this word Acadian, but I have to admit I really don't know much of anything about it. The Acadians are descendants of early French settlers who arrived in Nova Scotia in 1604 and built a distinct culture and society over generations. Really? That's who the Acadians are. Okay. Descendants of French settlers in Nova Scotia 400 years ago that built a culture and society in Nova Scotia? This says Acadian Deportation. Were they deported? Is this a sad story? I think I have a Wikipedia here. Here we go. The expulsion of the Acadians is a term used for the forced removal between 1755 and 1764 by Britain of inhabitants of the North American region known as Acadia. Oh man, this is a bad story. This is a sad story. Okay. It included modern Canadian maritime provinces, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, along with the U.S. state of Maine. I had no idea. And that's not a good thing, is it? It's not a good thing that I had no idea about the expulsion of this group of people. Because this is also something apparently that happened in America as well, in Maine. So I'm actually glad to highlight this one, to give this one a little attention. Acadian Deportation, forced removal from their land by British a while ago. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It has the sad music playing. Why does it have to have the sad music playing already? This is in Acadie, 1755, almost 300 years ago. See, Acadie, that's a place, a region in like the northeast, at least of the United States, and just eastern Canada. Okay.
Our ancestors came here from France to build a better life. We lived here happily for generations.
This is sad. This is so sad. But, man, it just seems like there's so many stories like this. The more I've learned about history, not even just Canadian history, like also American history. There's just so many stories like this, it feels like, with the original inhabitants, or, it's kind of like a chicken or the egg story, like it goes on forever. Who were the inhabitants before the Acadians? I don't know. But, that's a discussion for another time. We're talking about the Acadian Deportation here, so I'm going to stick to that. The fact that there are people that inhabit lands, and it seems like as history goes on, people come along and boot them out and call that their home. And it's such a sad reality of what's happened throughout history. And this is one that I didn't know about. And that's sad as well, that it happens and it's like people don't even know that people's entire lives, generations of history, their livelihood and the place, their home is literally taken from them. So
until the British decided they wanted our land.
It's as simple as that.
To a meeting.
It's as simple as that.
Imprisoned.
As simple as that. somebody wants your land. Like, you live your whole life, and then your whole life peacefully in an area. Your parents have lived there, and then someone just comes along and they're like, I want that land. That looks good. That's mine now. And that's it. That's your reality. It's terrifying.
The men were called to a meeting and then imprisoned.
Wow.
They demanded we swear an oath to their king and took everything, regardless.
Wow. This is a powerful one. And I don't mind them actually showing, like very viscerally showing, like burning down houses, stripping them of their property and basically their rights and their home and belongings and forcing them away. So this is part of Acadian and British history, really. That kind of explains why I didn't know about this.
We were forced from Acadie, the only home we knew.
Wow.
Acadie n'existera plus.
Oh my god. Although they did say this happened in Maine as well, so this is part of American history too.
From 1755 to 1763, over 10,000 Acadians were ripped from their homeland. Despite this, Acadian culture endures in Atlantic Canada.
Whoa. 10,000. So Acadian culture still exists to this day in Canada. That's nice. That's good to hear. Again, Acadian, it's a word I've heard, but I didn't know anything about it till now. So I'm glad this is a Heritage Minute, actually. I'm very glad. Is there anything else on here? The expulsion occurred during the French Indian War. Prior to 1758, Acadians were deported to the colonies, then later transported to Britain or France. Estimated 14,000 Acadians. 11,000 were deported. 5,000 died of disease, starvation, shipwrecks. Their land was given to settlers loyal to Britain. So this is sort of a blight on British history, if we're getting specific. But it occurred in Canada and a part of what would be modern-day United States. Ah, man. This is a heavy one, I gotta say. But I'm happy this was included in the Heritage Minutes. It's very sad. There's been a couple of things I've learned similar to this with the deportation of people from their land throughout history. So it's kind of a tough thing to address and to confront that is the reality of like all of our history. You know, there's no beating around the bush. Like the fact that we're here now means somebody lost this land a long time ago to our ancestors, and that is the reality. And I don't know, addressing that is something you can do. Learning about it, acknowledging it, is sort of something you can do to kind of, I don't know, pay homage to it, acknowledge it, you know. Anyway, that's very sad to learn about, but an important lesson, I think. Let's keep going. Is it possible that we can have a Heritage Minute that is not so sad here? Myrnam Hospital. Myrnam Hospital. Is this a specific hospital? In Canada, what happened here? It got its own Heritage Minute. The struggle of one small Alberta community to care for its residents during the Great Depression marks a tiny step in the evolution of Canada's universal healthcare system. Really? Canada's healthcare system started in Alberta? A small part of Alberta? Who knew? Really? A struggle of a small Alberta community, and it started a tiny step towards Canada's universal healthcare system. Really? That's a very interesting premise. Okay. Myrnam Hospital. Oh, I'm very interested to see what this is about. 1937. Oh, God. So they're trying to survive out in the winter.
They'll find them.
Doctor!
Oh, they found him.
Give this little one a bed.
There are no more beds.
Oh my god, this is chaotic. But again, I like how a lot of these older heritage minutes are shot. They really dive you right into it. Like you're right there in the hustle and bustle and chaos of the moment. There's been a couple like these with like others that had to do with Canadian military conflicts and other things where you're just right in it. So there's some people stuck in the snowstorm, a child as well. They have finally made their way back to this hospital, but there's no more beds. This nice gentleman is offering up his bed, but they're filled to capacity. Okay.
Give this little one a bed.
There are no more beds. We'll find you someplace.
Oh my
Laura
god.
wouldn't have died if this community could agree on a real hospital.
He's dead? He died? Oh my god, that escalated very fast. Died to, like, exposure to the cold. My god. And they got him back to the hospital, but not in time, and there were no beds, and now they're having, like, a town hall. They're, like, debating this or talking about how this happened or why this had to happen.
And Laura wouldn't have died if this community could agree on a real hospital.
Okay. Okay.
If we can forget our differences.
Я можу дозволити $50.
Ми buildували найліпшу стайну. То ми збудуємо шпиталь? Ну?
Wait a minute, what? Okay, so they're talking about how they don't feel like this had to happen, but they don't have the organization in place, the infrastructure in place to have like a proper hospital and medical care. And so this is like literally showing the organic way that universal healthcare kind of rose, where people gathered together and were like, wait, why does it have to be like this? It doesn't. We can pool our resources together and create universal healthcare. That'll be great in the year 2024. No, that's exactly what they were saying back then. No. But this is the beginning of that conversation, isn't it? I feel like this conversation could... I wouldn't mind if this took place, even if it's in this ramshackle kind of ye old town hall. It could even do that. It could even be there. If this could happen, like in the United States, that would be fantastic. That'd be great. Because it took the death of like one child for them to get together and be like, what the hell are we doing? And somehow a lot more has happened in the United States in the similar vein. And we don't have these kinds of conversations. Very strange.
Forget our differences.
Я можу дозволити $50.
Ми buildували найліпшу стайну. То ми
So people are like, hey, I'll give $50. Which back in this day, I mean, how long ago was this? Was that like $1,000 or something? Jeez. And they'll build the hospital. Wow.
збудуємо шпиталь? Ну? Так. Добре. Добре. Добре.
Ah, okay.
Our community did get together and build a real hospital with
Wow.
free services. Maybe we started something.
Free services. Imagine. I can't, sadly. Is Myrnam Hospital and this community credited with sort of getting those beginning conversations going over a free healthcare system? Like they even said they built the hospital and offered free services. I mean, that one guy stood up and was like, I'll give $50. I didn't see anyone else stand up, so he probably was like, guys, can anyone like chip in a little here? Maybe they cut that part out. But yeah, I've learned quite a bit about Canadian healthcare. Very, very, very good aspects to it. Like the fact that it's paid for using taxes, and you can go to any hospital and not worry if it's in your network or if you need to put a certain copay or whatever. Anyway, I won't even get into that. But I liked this Heritage Minute. This is an interesting topic that hasn't been in any of the others, actually. These were all pretty fascinating Heritage Minutes today, actually, about about hockey, about Acadian deportation, and this one about Canadian healthcare. Really interesting topics. Again, I just love these Canadian Heritage Minutes. They really do a great job of filling me in on pretty important aspects of Canadian culture and history I've never heard of before, and is long overdue. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with your thoughts on any of these Heritage Minutes today. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.